We're coming into live status now. The webinar is now streaming live on Facebook. We'll give a chance for people to file in here. What's that?
5 minutes till 4.
Oh, we have 5 minutes till 4, but still, people are taking their seats. Little pre-show entertainment, I guess, conversation. But thank you, everyone, for coming. Get this, bless you. Get this show on the road in about 2 minutes. Hi, Donna.
Yeah, hi, Donna.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks to anybody else that's popped in here and maybe on, we're on Facebook Live, so if anyone is on Facebook live with us, thanks for coming. We'll get started shortly. I hope you brought your beans. Hey, Mimi and Julie, thanks for coming. I already like this so much more than just like being filmed and then putting it up. Hey, Derek. Thanks for joining us. All right, so we're at 4 o'clock, and people may continue to come in and join us, and that's great. I'm going to go ahead and get started, if that's okay with everyone. My name is William Ritter, and I am the founder of Song to Seed. You can find out more about the work that I do with heirloom seeds and heirloom songs, I guess you could say, at songtoseed.com. And I think maybe that link might pop up in the chat. Bam, that was great, thank you. And anyway, we're here today to celebrate traditional Appalachian foodways and mostly unaccompanied ballad singing. We might have a little instrumentation in there as well today. But before we get started, I want to thank a couple of different organizations and some different people. First of all, North Carolina Arts Council. Really appreciate y'all, Zoe and Sandra and everybody else, all the other fine folks over there for helping host this Zoom call for us today. And also want to thank the American Folklife Center at the Library of Congress. I think some of them are going to, some people that work there are going to tune in today, but I actually received a grant from them to do an in-person version of the Bean-String Ballad-Sing. That was the original idea for this. And so we're looking forward to having that eventually, pandemic permitting, but excited to receive the Henry Reed Fund Award. And I think we might drop a link about that award too. But thanks so much for that. And also want to thank South Arts and again, the North Carolina Arts Council, Bobby McMillon. We'll tell you a little more about him in a bit. But Bobby and I received the 2019-2020 In These Mountains Folklife Apprenticeship grant. And that made a big difference for me. It's been great to work with Bobby with that grant. So I want to thank them for that. Also want to thank all the people that have shared this event. We actually had, we almost reached our full capacity at Zoom in terms of people that signed up in advance. So that was really exciting. And thank you also everyone that's tuning in on Facebook Live, but we want to thank everyone that's tuning in today And I definitely want to thank our fine singers. We've got Susan Pepper and Bobby McMillon with us today, which is a real treat. And I'm just really grateful that they're here with us. And lastly, I want to thank the generations of people that have passed down songs like these and seeds like these, because without their work, we wouldn't have that to share and learn from today and enjoy today. So want to thank everyone that's played a role in bringing these songs and seeds to us today. But anyway, so the Bean-String Ballad-Sing. What is a ballad and what is a bean string? Well, there's the kind of bean string that comes off your bean there, your little unzipper. But in terms of a ballad, is pretty much, I'm sure Bobby and Susan and I could talk at length about specifically what a ballad is, but a short answer is it's a song that tells a story. Most songs have a story to them, but the ballads actually tell you the story. And so a lot of them are pretty old. They can date back centuries. And sometimes the language can be a little bit hard to follow. It's practically Shakespearean at times, and it can be a little bit of an acquired taste, but this is a really old tradition. I think it's really important that we keep it going. And so this was something that is from a different time. So, got to bear that in mind. And this was something that people often would sing at a time when they had a lot of work to do, especially hard work and tedious, repetitive work. For example, that might be shucking corn or pressing cider or having a cane boil in molasses or stringing beans, all getting together on the porch and unzipping or snapping or whatever you want to call it for your beans. A lot of beans these days, you don't even have to unzip, which is just a shame. But anyways, they were sharing these songs in community and in an intimate place, like a front porch or a kitchen. They were shared together. So we're trying to reconnect those contexts in this brand new context, which is Zoom. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to do a round robin style ballad sing, essentially. We're just going to go between Bobby and then Susan, and I might sing some, and we're just going to take turns. And while we're doing that, we want to encourage you at home to also snap beans if you brought them, or if you prepare supper in some other way. That's why we put it at 4 o'clock, so that you could maybe set up your laptop in the kitchen while you're cooking, otherwise preparing food. Or maybe you might want to sit down with a coloring book or do some knitting. Zoe's a great knitter. So just, we want you to feel participatory in that way. And also feel free to ask some questions in the chat. And hopefully we can work those into the show, ask some questions, because both Bobby and Susan are real great resources for a lot of knowledge, not just great songs. And last little bit of housekeeping here is a little trigger warning, I guess we should say, that some of these songs can be violent, and just want to go ahead and let you know about that. That's not to say that they're celebrating violence. It's just that they describe violence. And some of these songs are really a lot like a soap opera. But anyways, we just want to give you a heads up for that. And Bobby and Susan, maybe if you are going to sing anything particularly violent, you could let us know that it's going to get really dark. Appreciate that. And also, we are blocked off for 2 hours here, but we might not do the entire 2 hours. We may get hungry and leave a little bit early and go have supper. So again, I want to thank everyone for coming. I'm going to shift over. I'm going to introduce Bobby real quick. So Bobby McMillon began singing and collecting songs and stories in 1964 when he was 12 years old, initially learning from family members like Mama Phillips in Cocke County, Tennessee, and his relatives and neighbors in Mitchell, Yancey, and Caldwell counties. In his teens, he was introduced to Kratos Williams, who's considered the grandfather of Appalachian studies, who taught Bobby how to collect ballads in a more formal way. And since then, he's gone on to become one of the most respected and knowledgeable ballad singers in the country. So for years, he taught all across North Carolina and some other states too, as a part of visiting artist programs. And he's received a number of grants and awards for his work, including the North Carolina Heritage Award and the Brown Hudson Folklore Award. All right, so Bobby, I'm going to turn it over to you. Hope you got a good bean stringer. Make sure to put your volume on.
How's that?
There we go.
All right. Well, you brought up the subject of violence, and it just so happened that I had about the worst one that I ever heard picked out to do. So I'm going to sing you a song that I learned from a number of different people. Everybody knew bits of it, and I finally got it all together. It's Bill Ellison, Ralph Ellison, Lizzie Ellison, Frank Prophet. I can't even remember who and all. I have heard sing bits of it, and it's not got the prettiest tune that ever was, but it's got a long story. And it's one that a lot of the ballad, one reason that many of the singers didn't know it all was because of the subject. I think it sort of turned them off, but maybe their poor interest in it kept it in their memories. But this is one that I've heard it a number of names for it, but the way that I learned it from the Ellison family was it was called Bo Lambkins. Bo Lambkins was as fine a mason as ever laid a stone. He built a fine castle, and pay he got none. He built a fine castle, and pay he got none. He built it without and he built it within, but he left a little window for to let himself in. He left a little window for to let himself in. He swore by his maker he'd kill them unknown. Be wars of Bo Lambkins till I return home. Be wars of Bo Lambkins till I return home. I care not for Lambkins, nor none of his kin. My doors are all bolted, and my windows all pinned. My doors are all bolted, and my windows all pinned. Lambkins rode to the castle, and he jingled a pin, and in through the little window the falseness let him in. In through the little window the false nurse let him in. Oh, where is the landlord, or is he at home? He's gone to merry England for to visit his son. He's gone to merry England for to visit his son. Where is the Lord's lady, or is she within? She's upstairs sleeping, said the false nurse to him. She's upstairs sleeping, said the false nurse to him. How will we get her downstairs? The false nurse said she. Stick pin and needles in the little baby. Stick pins and needles in the little baby. Bo lambkins rocked the cradle, and the false nurse she sung, while the tears and the red blood from the cradle did run, while the tears and the red blood from the cradle did run. Oh, quiet, my baby, this lady, cried she. Oh, quiet, my baby, with breast milk or tea. Oh, quiet, my baby, with breast milk or tea. He won't quiet, lady, with breast milk or tea. 'Tis you that he cries for, the false nurse, said she. 'Tis you he cries for, the false nurse, said she. How can I come downstairs on such a dark night, without corner candle for to give me a light, without corner candle for to give me a light? The gold in your tresses shines bright as the sun. You can come down, my lady, by the light of just one. You can come down, my lady, by the light of just one. This lady coming downstairs, not a thinking no harm. Lambkin slipped up behind her and caught her in his arms. Bo Lambkin slipped up behind her and he caught her in his arms. Oh, spare me, Bo Lambkin. Oh, won't you spare I? Can't you hear how mournful my baby does cry? Can't you hear how mournful my baby does cry? What cares I for the baby? It's too late to save. I have my holy czar, and it's all I do crave. I have my holy czar, and it's all that I crave. Oh, spare me, Bo Lambkins. Oh, spare me one day, and you can have all the gay gold your horse can carry away. You can have all the gay gold your horse can carry away. If I had all the gay gold I could tote in a sack, I would not spare your life till your husband comes back. I would not spare your life till your husband gets back. Oh, should I kill her falseness, or should I set her free? Cut her heart out, Bo Lambkin, she was never good to me. Cut her heart out, Bo Lambkin, she was never good to me. Spare my life, Bo Lambkin, spare my life 1 hour. You can have daughter Betsy, my young blooming flower. You can have daughter Betsy, my young blooming flower. We'll spare your daughter Betsy to go through the flood, to scare the silver basin that catches your heart's blood, to scare the silver basin that catches your heart's blood. Bo Lambkins took the lady right there on the floor until her white skin ran with red blood and gore, until her white skin ran with red blood and gore. Then he stopped this fair lady, the flower of her kin. Then to the silver basin her heart's blood run in. Then to the silver basin her heart's blood run in. Daughter Betsy looked out from her chamber so high, and she spied her dear father come a-riding hard by. And she spied her dear father come a-riding hard by. Oh, father, dear father, oh, please don't blame me. Bo Lambkins has been here. He's killed your lady. Bo Lambkins has been here. He's killed your lady. Oh, father, dear father, come see what's been done. Bo Lambkins has been here. He's killed your dear son. Bo Lambkins has been here. He's killed your dear son. There was blood in the kitchen and blood in the hall, but the blood from the cradle was the worst blood of all. But the blood from the cradle was the worst blood of all. Bo Lambkins was hanged from a gallows so high, and the false nurse was burned at a stake standing by, and the false nurse was burned at a stake standing by. Bloody enough.
Wow. Yeah, we just went ahead and went there, huh?
Right. We went right to it.
Lambkin's got to be one of the very, very oldest ballads, I think. Got to be one of the older child ballads. It's that one definitely qualifies as that very violent. They're not all that violent.
Well, there's a number of maybe of explanations for him, but probably the weirdest one is that he was a demon or a devil in actuality, and that's one of the theories about it. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'd say that Bo Lambkin had an affair with the Lord's lady at some former point, and it was all, and that's probably why her husband didn't pay him. I don't know. Have no earthly idea. Never heard any of the old folks make a lot of comments about that song. I think they thought it was too dark.
Well, what was the typical time somebody might share as like Lambkin? Was that were they intentionally trying to be spooky, or they just didn't normally necessarily separate it from the rest of whatever they were gonna sing?
Well, probably they didn't separate it from the rest, but I'm not sure what. I think Ralph Ellison was the first one that ever mentioned it to me. He knew that I liked the old ballads about the lords and ladies and stuff like that. And I guess he thought it would fit into it.
Here's one that'll curl your toes. Yeah. Well, thanks, Bobby. Appreciate you sharing that. That's an incredible version of that. That you is that one of your collated ballads?
It's a mixture of all of the people that I ever heard sing it. Because most of them just had it in bits and pieces, and I thought, well, if it's going to ever be sung, it needed to needed to have a story you could follow.
Right. Yeah. Well, thanks, Bobby. Susan, what kind of beans or peas are you working on there?
These are purple peas, given to me by a friend, given to my husband and me, from a local grower who hopefully is out there right now watching us. If you are, hi Dan. So they've come up well this year.
I know I did ask a particular request of a song, but you don't have to sing that one first.
Okay. I have an old one that came to mind, I think, because Bobby had started out with an old one. So I might do that and then
Okay.
come back to the farm
Yeah.
one. I'm going to do Jobel Hunter, and I know William does a different version of this song. And the tune I got from Buna Hicks, who was born in the 1880s around Beach Mountain. And the lyrics, kind of like what Bobby was saying, the lyrics come from someone else. They come from her relative Rena Hicks, because Rena Hicks had a fuller version of it that's in a book called Some Ballad Folks. Rena apparently lost her voice when she was older, but she had this collection of ballads, and she would still get out her ballad box, which I thought was pretty sweet that it still meant so much to her. So this is a real old one. It has a little bit of violence at the end, and I'm definitely it's not something normally that I seek after, but in these songs, it's just part of it sometimes. I do a few that are violent, but overall, this is actually just a hunting trip. So, Abim Bailey had 3 sons. The youngest was called Sander. He's gone to the Greens' woods a hunting, just like a Jobel Hunter. As he crossed the Green Oak Mountain, blow your horn, Sander. There he met a gay lady, if you are the Jobel Hunter. She says there's a wild boar in these woods, blow your horn, Sander. Blow your horn northeast, west, and south, if you are the Jobel Hunter. He blowed his horn northeast, west, and south, blow your horn, Sander. The wild boar heard him into his den, if you are the Jobel Hunter. As they crossed the White Oak Mountain, blow your horn, Sander. And on their way they went again, if you are the Jobel Hunter. As they slayed the wild boar, blow your horn, Sander. The oak and ash they did bend, if you are the Jobel Hunter. As they passed the wild boar's den, blow your horn, Sander. There lay the bones of 1,000 men, if you are the Jobel Hunter. He met the witch wife on the chin, blow your horn, Sander. Be gone, you rogue, you've killed my pig, if you are the Jobel hunter. She says these three things of yourn I crave. Blow your horn, sinner. Is your hawk, your hound, and your gay lady, if you are the Jobel hunter. He says these three things of mine you can't have. Blow your horn, sinner. Is my hawk, my hound, and my gay lady, if you are the Jobel hunter. He split the witch wife to the chin. Blow your horn, sinner. And on his way he went again, 'cause he was the Jobel hunter.
Thank you, Susan. That's one of my favorite ballads of in just about any shape or form, and I love the version of that they sing up there. I remember hearing Rick Ward sing that for the first time, and I remember him singing about a Gaily D, and I was like, Rick, what in the world is a Gaily D? He says, you know, like a lady gay. Oh, right.
I was confused about that for a long time.
What is that?
Gaily D.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a wonderful song, and Susan, I don't know if you've heard it or not. Bobby also has a wonderful version. Did you learn that from the Ellisons? Bobby, your wild boar?
No, I knew it from the Hickses and the Presley. Lena Presley. It's where I got the tune. I forgot. You put me on the spot now. I can't think of a word of it.
Well, if we want to, we could circle around again, and you could sing your version of it maybe a little later if you want to. If they're worth singing once, they're worth singing twice.
All right.
So, but I think that's one of the really wonderful things about this particular tradition is there often are so many different variants and versions, even between people that were next door neighbors or were very closely related to each other. If you're hearing that plink 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 sound, that is the Shelleys that I'm popping out here as I'm going along. These are some Ma Laney beans that I got from Bart Laney, and just like these old songs, these seeds have been passed down, through the ages, and different families have different versions of the seeds, and there's really all this variety in the southern mountains of all these different kinds of seeds, particularly beans or something we have a lot of different kinds of, and so it's exciting to kind of bring them together into one place. But I really do appreciate the seeds. Seeds in the songs are things that you can easily take with you when you have to leave, sometimes in a hurry. The songs aren't, you don't have to pay any to stow that luggage when you are crammed on a very tiny boat and brought to this country. And so much of the music that is what makes our musical legacy as a country so rich is music that came on a boat. But anyways, I guess I'll sing. I think I'm about going to sing all songs that I learned from Bobby, which makes sense given the apprenticeship. This is sort of the little capstone from it, but I'm not done for sure. I'm still gonna be calling Bobby and visiting with him eventually, hopefully, and getting to do more work. And I especially want to help Bobby with his Mama Phillips project that he's working on. That's a really important thing, and so I'm glad he's doing that, and I'm glad he's with us today. I learned this one from Bobby over the phone, and It's a version of Lord Arundel, and it's called Jimmy Ransom. And Bobby, you got this from mostly Aunt Lou Brookshire, but also a little Tom Maltba. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was very little difference in it. Maybe just the name for one. Aunt Lou called it John Randolph, and Tom Maltby and his family called it Jimmy Ransom.
Well, so this is an another. Wow, we really got into this hunting theme here. But anyways, this is an older song, essentially about a young man who goes out hunting, comes home, and he looks pretty sick, and his mother figures out he's been poisoned, and so basically on his deathbed, she asks him, "Well, who are you going to will? What are you going to will to your different family members?" And in the end, he says what he's going to will to his sweetheart. So anyways, let's see if we do this here. Home, where you been rambling, Jimmy Ransom, my son? Oh, where you been rambling, my handsome young gun? I've been to the wildwood, mother, make my bed down, for I'm wearied with hunting, and I want to lie down. Oh, who did you meet there, Jimmy Ransom, my son? Oh, who did you meet there, my handsome young gun? I met with my true love, mother, make my bed down, for I'm wearied with hunting, and I want to lie down. What'd you have for your supper, Jimmy Ransom, my son? What'd you have for your supper, my handsome young dun? Eels fried and gruel, mother, make my bed down, for I'm wearied with hunting, and I want to lie down. What'd you do with your leavings, Jimmy Ransom, my son? What'd you do with your leavings, my handsome young dun? Fed them to my bloodhounds, mother, make my bed down, for I'm wearied with hunting, and I want to lie down. What became of your bloodhounds, Jimmy Ransom, my son? What became of your bloodhounds, my handsome young dun? They swelled and they died, mother, make my bed down, for I'm wearied with hunting, and I want to lie down. I fear you are poisoned, Jimmy Ransom, my son. I fear you are poisoned, my handsome young dun. Oh, yes, I am poisoned, mother, make my bed down, for I'm wearied with hunting, and I want to lie down. What'd you leave for your mother, Jimmy Ransom, my son? What'd you leave for your mother, my handsome young dun? My houses and lands, mother, make my bed down, for I'm wearied with hunting, and I want to lie down. What'd you leave for your father, Jimmy Ransom, my son? What'd you leave for your father, my handsome young dun? My hawk and my hound, mother, make my bed down, for I'm wearied with hunting, and I want to lie down. What'd you leave for your sister, Jimmy Ransom, my son? What'd you leave for your sister, my handsome young dun? My silver and gold, mother, make my bed down, for I'm wearied with hunting, and I want to lie down. What'd you leave for your sweetheart, Jimmy Ransom, my son? What'd you leave for your sweetheart, my handsome young dun? Hellfire and brimstone for to bake her bones brown, for she is the reason of my laying down. All right, there we go. Yeah, so there's a little bit of the Lord Randall there. Should have brought my guitar because that was a little bit high.
That's all right. Most of the old ballad singers sang them in the highest pitch they could. Frank Prophet was one of the few that I knew that he sang pretty low most of his ballads, but most of the old timers sang in high pitch.
Well, Bobby, I was meaning to ask you, does sitting here stringing beans, does that make you think of any particular memories or maybe any particular songs?
That's like asking me what my favorite ballad is. They all remind me of that. Let's see. Here's one that I know one, and it's I've never heard too many people sing it. I learned it from a girlfriend I had when I was a teenager. Her uncle and aunts were all a lot older than her. She was the baby of her family. At that time, her parents were in their 50s, I guess, or older, and maybe 60s. And she had aunts, a couple of aunts that were in their 70s. And one of her uncles, by marriage, he played alto harp, and his first one I ever heard play this. Later on, a friend of mine, Karen Helms, who lived in at Wingate College, she recorded an old man and woman in Anson County, I believe it was, that did a version of this on a field recording. And I guess her field record, she's dead now, and I guess her field recordings are at Chapel Hill, maybe. I don't know if they've been digitized or if you can find them or not. She put out several records. One was called Between the Sound and the Sea. It was field recordings of different folk singers on the Outer Banks. She got some from the Tillett family and others down there. And then she did a couple of or three songs called Hand Me Down Music, I think. She recorded right around Union and Anson County. And but this is, I always loved this song. I don't know why it was never made popular or recorded back years ago, but it's got a pretty tune, prettier than I can sing it, but this is the way that I remember it. Gentle zephyrs blow ye lightly o'er the place where sleeps the dead, where the moonbeam shining brightly hovers round the narrow bed. There where yonder ivy creeps, 'tis the place where Ella sleeps. There where yonder's ivy creeps, is a place where Ella sleeps. When the night of death came o'er her and her eyes began to close, happy dreams went on before her, calling her to sweet repose. Then she fell in slumber deep, leaving us below to weep. Then she fell in slumbers deep, leaving us below to weep. Angel wings have borne her spirit to the fairest land of love, where the blessed power inherit all the Father's holy love. There where love her memories keep, in the grave sweet Ella sleeps. There where love her memories keep, in the grave sweet Ella sleeps. The sweet zephyrs blow ye lightly on the sacred hallowed spot, where the moon beams shining brightly. Oh, it ne'er can be forgot, far beyond the sunset deep. In the grave, sweet Ella sleeps, far beyond the sunset deep. In the grave, sweet Ella sleeps. Sweet Ella's grave. That's the first time that I know of it's ever been sung out in public.
I can really hear the auto harp on that.
Oh, it really sounded pretty on the auto harp. Angelic almost. That song, it must be a North Carolina song. I've never heard it anywhere else. I found a trace of it in Reed Smith's South Carolina Ballads, but he got it from a woman from Alexander County, which is one county away from, it's the next door county to Caldwell, where the, let's see, what was his name? It'll come to me later. Vicki Roberts was the girl whose uncle sang it. Can't think right offhand. But anyway, I.G. Greer had a version of it. I don't know where he got it. It might have been in Watauga County, or it could have been in the foothill. Bascom Lunsford found it around either Alexander or Ardell County, which is close by. And Mike Seeger recorded A Man and His Son, playing it on an album that he put out in the 60s of auto harp music. They played it on auto harp too. I forgot the man's name. He was from Concord. And then Karen Helms recorded it in Anson County. So I've never come across it in any other state.
Well, I appreciate. I'd seen that written down before. I'd never actually heard it sung. So, well, Susan, have you run out of peas yet?
Not yet. No. I think someone asked. It's Jobal Hunter, like jovial. Jobal. Happy. Happy Hunter. Back to that other one. Well, William, you want me to do another one?
Yeah.
Or do you have some? Yeah. Okay. I was gonna
I just
sing.
dropped my beans.
Okay. William wanted me to do the one about farm life to go with this theme today, since we're all doing some work.
Yes, it's a perfect listing of all the things you might sing ballads to while you do.
Yeah. This one I learned from a friend named Hazel Reimer, and her folks were from from Madison County, but she grew up near Asheville and was living out that way at the time that I met her. She was an older singer and really passionate about sharing the ballads and wanting to help make sure that they were passed along. So it was a real treat to meet her. So she called this one the farmer and his wife, or the old man on the hill. There was an old man who lived on the hill, I know. He swore he could do more work in one day than his wife could do in 3. Well, sir, said she, well, said she, well, I know. If you will go and milk the cow, I'll go and follow the plow. The little old woman picked up the hoe and went to follow the plow. The little old man picked up the pail and went to milk the cow. Old Skinny she kicked, old Skinny she jumped, old Skinny she wouldn't stand still. If ever I milk old Skinny again, it'll be against my will. He went to feed the old sow pig that lived in yonder sty. The old sow jumped between his legs and knocked him up sky high. He went to feed the 3 settin' hens that they might not go stray. But he plumb forgot the hank of yarn that his wife spun yesterday. He swore by the moon and the stars and the leaves that grow upon the trees that his wife could do more work in one day than he could do in 3. He swore by the moon and the leaves and the stars that shine up in the heavens that his wife could do more work in one day than he could do in 11.
That's great, Susan. Thank you. I remember hearing you sing that one, and I've aggravated you to sing it about every time since.
That's a great one.
I've always thought that would be a good response song to the farmer and the devil, farmer's wife and the devil song.
Why is that? They're both tough.
What's that? Yeah, right. Yeah.
One's mean tough and one's good tough.
Right. But I will, I see some people sharing stuff in the chat. I don't actually have Facebook in front of me, but we are, if anyone does have any particular questions, yeah, we'd be happy to try to incorporate them in. But I guess it's all the way back to me again. So let's see what I got here. Oh, yeah. Gosh, I love that one. I'm gonna grab my guitar over here real quick, get all these beans out of my lap. So this is song, and maybe it would quantify more really as a folk song. I don't know if we're being really strict about the term ballad. And I've actually been, for Bobby, as per his request, I've been working on it, putting it to the fiddle. And I think it sounds really good with the banjo too, but I'm going to do it unaccompanied. But this is Bold Reynard, which is a song about a fox. And it's one of my favorite ones that I learned from Bobby, and he got it from Rolf Ellison, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll see if I can remember to sing all the verses that I've learned from you for it. And I think, that's one of the good things that's been so great about the apprenticeship, and getting to talk to you about these songs so much and get to hear them multiple times is I'll hear different verses different times. And if I only ever got to hear you sing something once, I might really miss out on some great material. So I think it's really important that there are programs like the apprenticeship. Particularly, I saw that there's a ballad singing group that got it again, and also Trevor McKenzie with fiddle with Paul Brown. And anyways, I really do think it is important to try to cultivate the ways that people can learn from people more than just swooping in and catching a big haul and then going home and saying you learned from so and so. I think that to be able to really forge a relationship with someone and over mutual appreciation for J.R.R. Tolkien and liver mush. It really adds a lot to the songs. But anyways, I'm gonna sing this Bold Reynard. Come all ye jolly huntsmen who love to hunt the fox, I thought I saw Bold Reynard amongst the geese and ducks, with a hoot toot toot and a haw along the narrow trail. Come a wren, 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 come a hippy tippy tan, and a bew wang wow, and a bugle sound. It's through the woods he run very wild, sir. Through the woods he run, sir. Well, the first come down was a pretty fair miss, a combing back her locks. She said she saw Bold Reynard amongst the geese and flocks, with hoot toot toot and a haw along the narrow trail. Come a wren, 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 come a hippy tippy tan, and a bew wang wow, a bugle sound. It's through the woods he run very wild, sir. Through the woods he ran, sir. Well, the next come down was a teamster a plowing with his team. He said he saw Bold Reynard a climbing up the drain, with a hoot toot toot and a hollow along the narrow trail. Come a wren, 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 come a hippy tippy tan, and a bew wang wow, and a bugle sound. It's through the woods he run very wild, sir. Through the woods he ran, sir. Well, the next come down was a blacksmith, black as he could be. He said he saw Bold Reynard climb up the simmon tree, with a hoot toot toot and a hollow along the narrow trail. Come a wren, 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 come a hippy tippy tan, and a bew wang wow, a bugle sound. It's through the woods he ran very wild, sir. Through the woods he ran, sir. Well, the next come down was a hunter hunting with his gun. He said he saw Bold Reynard, shot him as he run, with a hoot toot toot and a hollow along the narrow trail. Come a wren, 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 come a hippy tippy tan, and a bew wang wow, and a bugle sound. It's through the woods he run very wild, sir. Through the woods he ran, sir. Oh, the last come down was a farmer a carrying the land. He said he saw Bold Reynard, but he didn't give a hoot toot toot and a hollow along the narrow trail. Come a wren, 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 come a hippy tippy tan, and a bew wang wow, a bugle sound. It's through the woods he run very wild, sir. Through the woods he ran, sir. All right.
That's a good one.
think maybe there was a verse in there about the preacher, but I couldn't remember that one.
I can't remember it either.
The one about the farmer carrying a lamb is apocryphal. I couldn't resist.
And that's all right. Songs like that, a lot of people would add to them.
I love all the songs with nonsense words.
Yeah.
They're just good. Quirky.
Yeah, and I've heard some different theories on that. Some people saying that it was supposed to kind of imitate the sound of a banjo, and with that one, that sort of is imitating the sound of the hounds. And sometimes, Bobby, you sing it with a bow wow wow, right, instead of a bew wang wow. And I've also heard some people say that it goes back to people singing like kind of Gallic verses after singing English ones. I don't know, but I do like them, whatever they are. Yeah. By this point, they sure sound like nonsense.
It's all right.
Well, Bobby, do you know any more songs?
I'm out of them. Let's see. Here's one that I don't know if I can remember it all or not, but I'll do what I can remember of it. I learned it from Mama Phillips. And it's strange that in all the recorded versions, it was known as Darling Corey, but among the people that a few people that I heard sing it, they always called it more correctly, Darling Cora. It always strange. They wouldn't ever call somebody Cora, but yet in the song they did. But this is her version of it. Wake up, darling Cora. Let me get in the right tune now. Wake up, darling Cora. That's going to be high. Wake up, darling Cora. What man? Nope, that's too high. Give me a picture, William. A little lower. You're muted. I can't hear you. You're muted.
Oh, I think I'm fighting with the host behind stage. Wake up, darling Cora, and go get me my gun.
Wake up, darling Cora. What makes you sleep so sound? The highway robbers are coming. They got your bed surrounded. I went to church last Sunday. Darling Cora, she was there. The only change I saw in darling Cora was the roll in her long curly hair. I'll give you a ring, darling Cora, to wear on your little left hand. When I am dead and buried, please place it on your right hand. Wake up, darling Cora. Quit hanging around my bed. Corn liquors run me crazy. Pretty women has gone to my head. Oh, the next time I saw darling Cora, she was riding on the eastbound train. And the next time I saw darling Cora, she was wearing the ball and chain. Don't you hear them bluebirds singing? Can't you hear that mournful sound? They're preaching Cora's funeral in some lonesome graveyard ground. That's about it. There might be a verse or two I left out, but I always liked her tune to it. I got it first too high and then too low, but that's the way it goes. But I always liked her tune to that one.
I do too. I'm honestly I'm pretty smitten with her tune for that, but I didn't know Mama, but I'm pretty smitten with her songs in general. She really had a lot of beautiful versions for things, including one that I'm gonna sing here a little bit later. But really, just a wonderful collection of songs. I'm so glad that you got such a thorough collection from her. I mean, that's a good example of it. You know, if you have the opportunity to really, visit someone on a more regular,
Right.
basis, how much that can really just
That's
you
true.
can learn so much. But yeah, I love that, and she had a really nice Wild Bill Jones too.
Yeah, that's a good tune.
With a different, a nice lonesome tune, something that you often hear done a lot more, upbeat and kind of driving, but
Yeah,
it's sort of to me maybe kind of hints at those songs maybe originally being pretty mournful and not being upbeat, but that's hard to say. I'm going to do another one I learned from you, Bobby. Oh, it's Susan's turn. I think I got confused because Susan popped out for a minute and it moved our. Susan, I want you to sing, not me.
Are you sure?
Yes, yeah.
Sorry about that. Zoom tries to pull a fast one on you sometimes. Okay. Well, I'm doing a really short one this time, so it won't be long. We'll pass it around. This is another farm song of sorts. It's called The Little Piggy. Some people also call it Old Joe Finn's. And I guess a little bit of a trigger alert. It's a little bit disturbing towards the end of this quick song, but it's also very upbeat. And I learned it on Beach Mountain from a woman named Pearl Hicks. Pearl was born in 1927 and was a beautiful singer from up there who spent a lot of time with her grandparents and Buna Hicks and other folks. Yeah, her name was Pearl. And she liked to sing this song for her nephews. Old Joe Finn's, he bought him a pig. Mm-hmm. Old Joe Finn's, he bought him a pig. It was so little, it wouldn't grow big. Mm-hmm. He fed the little piggy and he went to bed. Mm-hmm. He fed the little piggy and he went to bed. Got up the next morning, little piggy was dead. Mm-hmm. The old man grieved himself to death. Mm-hmm. The old man grieved himself to death because the little piggy couldn't get no breath. Mm-hmm. The old woman died so very soon after. Mm-hmm. The old woman died so very soon after by hanging herself on a piggy pen rafter. Mm-hmm. So there they went, just 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. So there they went, just 1, 2, 3. An old man, an old woman, and little piggy. Mm-hmm. And that's it. I really like the mournful tune. I'm really one. I'm really one for tunes, for the melody. So, and of course, it's about a pig, and I like to sing about pigs and chickens. Even more, I like to sing about chickens. So I'm thankful that Pearl passed that along to me, and I can sing it.
I also just love the names of the ballad singers you learned from. All like just people with beautiful names.
It's true. Several of them had really unique names, like Zora.
Yeah, or Antelope. I mean, that's a really unusual name. So I'm gonna sing one that I learned from Bobby called Georgie. And if I'm not mistaken, this most of this comes from Gaither Carlton, right? Is that right, Bobby?
I don't know what you're going to. I don't know.
Oh, Georgie.
I don't know which. I've heard it from 2 or 3 people. I heard Gaither's version, and I've heard a man up in Virginia one time sing it. But I'd assume that you're probably going to sing Gaither's tune.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful tune, and it's also very close to a tune that is sometimes used for Barbary Allen.
I was going to sing Barbary Allen today to that old tune that's similar to that. It's not quite the same thing, but I just couldn't get it fixed in my head yet. I'll do it some other time.
Well, okay. Well, I was going to say, I'll do something else.
No,
but,
I'm not going to do it.
Let's see. What did I suggest to myself? Suggest to myself key of G. As I walked over London Bridge, all in the morning early, I thought that I heard some pretty fair men saying, "Spare me the life of Georgie." I thought that I heard some pretty fair maid saying, "Spare me the life of Georgie." It saddled me up my milk white steed, go bridle him so gaily, I'll ride away to the King's High Court and plead for the life of Georgie. I'll ride away to the King's High Court and plead for the life of Georgie. Well, she rode all day and she rode all night, till she was wet and weary, and combing back her long yellow hair, she pled for the life of Georgie. And combing back her long yellow hair, she pled for the life of Georgie. She taken out a purse all filled with gold, just like you've never seen any, saying, "Come all yours unto yourselves, and plead for the life of Georgie." Saying, "Come all ye lords unto yourselves, and plead for the life of Georgie." Then Georgie rose up for to plead for herself, said, "I never did murder any, but I stole 16 of the King's white steeds, and I sold them in Bohemia. But I stole 16 of the King's white steeds, and I sold them in Bohemia. Then the oldest lawyer stepped to the bar, saying, George, I'm sorry for ye. By your own confession has condemned you to die. May the Lord have mercy on you. But your own confession has condemned you to die. May the Lord have mercy on you. They hung him there with a golden chain, just like you've never seen any. For he was a member of the royal race, and he courted him a virtuous lady. For he was a member of the royal race, and he courted him a virtuous lady. If I were over on yander's hill, where kisses I've had many, with my sword and my true love by my side, I'd fight for the life of Georgie. With my sword and my true love by my side, I'd fight for the life of Georgie.
That's a good song.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I like that one. Huh. Well, Bobby, did you bring any beans with you today?
I got a bag in the kitchen, but I brought one room here in this corner for much. I sure did. I happen to think of one that I don't think I've ever sung it in a concert or on stage. That it's got a pretty tune to it. Of course, I think all the minor key tunes are pretty. The other ones sound good with get fiddles, but the minor keys are the prettiest of all. I don't remember where my mom said she learned this one at. She learned a lot from the people that lived all around her. She hard out is what they called a hard girl when she's about 12, and would stay with the different mountain people and work for them in exchange for board and food. And a lot of times they would sing her songs that she'd learned, and she had cousins that sang, and I think a great aunt that she learned one or two from. But this one, not sure where she got it from, but I'll do what I can of it. My parents all treated me kindly, for they had no child but me. My mind began to ramble, on this we couldn't agree. My mind began to ramble, and oh, what grieves me so is to leave my aged parents, their face to see no more. Is to leave my aged parents, their face to see no more. There was a rich old gentleman who lived in a town close by. He had one only daughter on whom I cast my eye. She was tall and handsome, both beautiful and fair. There's not one girl in this wide world with her I could compare. There's not one girl in this wide world with her I could compare. I told her my intention was far across the main. I asked if she'd prove true to me till I returned again. She said she'd prove true to me if death didn't prove unkind. So we kissed, shook hands, and parted, and I left my girl behind. We kissed, shook hands, and parted, and I left my girl behind. As I walked over on Broadway down on the public square, the mail train had just arrived. I met the driver there. He handed me a letter which gave me to understand that the girl I left behind me had married another man. That the girl I left behind me had married another man. As I stood there grieving, he said, "Poor boy, don't cry. Oh, money I have plenty, and it's for you and I. My horses I'll turn over, your company I'll resign. We'll ramble this wide world over for the girl you left behind." And that was the girl I left behind.
I love how sweet the mailman is at the end of that song.
How what?
Well, unless I'm interpreting that wrong, that the mailman that kind of delivers them this bad news is like, "Hey, cheer up, son. Listen, I got a lot of money. We're just gonna have a big old time.
We're gonna go and spend it since your girl left you."
Yeah.
No, it's a strange song. I learned it from Mama, and Aunt Lou Brookshire knew a version. She called it Maggie Walker, and Brazilla Wallen. I got a version of it from her, and in it the boy proves false to the girl he left behind, and they all die. It's a longer and sadder song, but it's a version of the same theme.
Got a real pretty tune for it too. A little bit different, right?
What?
A little bit different tune they've got over there, right?
The tune that Brazilla sang was different, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Aunt Lou's was similar. It wasn't just exactly like Mama's, but it was similar.
William,
Well,
I was going to
Susan.
show you what I've got now. I've finished with the purple peas, and I've moved on to the scarlet runners, and they look like.
Oh,
Now I can't.
yeah.
Yeah, and a friend of ours gave these to us as well. Um, my husband said that he said that these go back to the 1770s, and that I can't remember if he said it was the Cherokee or they came from indigenous people who shared them.
So, well, really, all beans did. Field peas, however, came from Africa, but is a little interesting factoid while we're talking about beans. Scarlet runner beans is a particular kind of variety of Phaseolus. I'm not going to say this right. I never took Latin. Probably should have. Didn't know I'd be into plants later. Phaseolus coccineus or coccineus. And so that is that's basically the scarlet runner bean, which is different from the Phaseolus vulgaris, which is a standard. Almost every bean you've heard of is a Phaseolus vulgaris, except for like kidney beans. And so that's a unique. The runner beans are a really interesting bean. They make a big old seed, and they're beautiful flowers. And there's different kinds And in the mountains, a lot of times people call those butter beans as well, even though that's also a term that people will use often, particularly more down the mountain, to describe these kind of butter beans, which are a kind of lima bean, essentially, Phaseolus lunatus. You can remember that one because it's shaped just like a little moon. But so sometimes I call the other ones mountain butter beans, and they don't like heat very good, but you can plant them a little earlier in the year because they don't mind cold weather. I'm glad you're growing those. I always get excited when people tell me what beans they're growing, especially if they have those. And there's a lot of them that do have really interesting kind of family lineages of being passed down. And great bean, a great bean.
Yeah, and one thing you had said a while back, we were on a panel together about old songs and seeds, heirloom seeds, but I had never really had anyone give me a seed at that point. But for me, these peas will always be special, not because they're called a scarlet runner, but because a good dear friend gave them to us, and so it has so much more meaning. So I see what you're getting at there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel the same way with the songs. I really do.
Well, that's like just yesterday I was talking to someone that gave me some tomato plants from a variety of tomato that have been grown in Surrey County, an old variety, and he gave me what he called it, which was a person's name, like a person's last name, and he said, well, you might be able to tell me what it actually is, but for me it's this, and lots of, I told him, no, that what you call it is what that is. I mean, that shows a really important thing, that when there's, especially having seeds all the time, that they don't have we might not call them a greasy bean. We're more likely to call them, for me, example, Betty Sue Parker beans, my neighbor's beans. They're greasy cut shorts, but I'm gonna call them Betty Sue Parker beans. I mean, that's why so many different beans have those names, because it shows how important it is, where it came from, that the source really mattered to people, or maybe like kind of honoring the source, that often the name is attached. If I ever go to a feed and seed or something and I see that they've got a bunch of tomato plants out for sale, I'm always looking, and if they have a handwritten label with somebody's name, I got to ask about that tomato, because that's illustrating that whole point. And yeah, we could put it, we could sequence the genes and find out it's exactly the same as this other tomato. This, like, maybe it's just like a Brandywine. There's hardly any difference, but I still think there's a difference. And what part of that difference is, where it came from, who it came through. I think that matters, and you should honor your source. You should honor the wishes of your source, I think, if you can. And so I think that there's so much in common between heirloom seeds and I'd say foodways in general and old time music. And that's what we're trying to do today. I think that to continue to keep those things together, they're going to hold each other up much better than they can stand alone. I didn't mean to interrupt what you were gonna. Do you have a runner bean song? No.
Heck no, I don't.
No, yeah. Well, I feel bad when you said that at that point no one had given you any seeds, and I feel really bad. I totally would have shared seeds with you.
Oh, yeah. Well, we just got started, but it's been, during the quarantine and everyone being separate, it's been interesting to see how much point of connection gardening's been for Jonathan, my husband, and other people in the community. It's been really great, and it kind of reminds me of when I was, when I've been out collecting songs and connecting. But exchanging seeds is a lot safer right now, I guess, than singing. So that's why we're here like this today. Well, maybe I should go ahead and sing another one, since we're getting back to that now. I'm going to sing a version of Jackaro and it comes from Madison County. And I believe I don't know if you know whether it'd be Doug or Jack Wallen who sang it, Bobby.
No, what?
Um, Mostly Doug Wallen who did the main singing. Anyway, I'm gonna do a song by Jackaro from the Wallens.
Doug learned that from Peter Gott.
Okay, great.
It came from Peter.
All right. Well, this one's a little bit kinder to the women, so we'll do that for all you out there. There was a wealthy merchant from London, he did well. He had a lovely daughter, to you the truth I'll tell. Oh, to you the truth I'll tell. She had sweethearts of plenty and men of high degree, but none but Jackie Fraser could e'er her sweetheart be. Oh, could e'er her sweetheart be. I will lock you in your dungeon, your body I'll confine, if none but Jackie Fraser could ever suit your mind. Oh, could ever suit your mind. You may lock me in your dungeon, my heart you can't confine, 'cause none but Jackie Fraser could ever suit my mind. Oh, could ever suit my mind. Then Jackie went a-sailing with trouble on his mind, to leave his native country and darling girl behind. Oh, his darling girl behind. She went into a tailor shop and dressed in men's array. She stepped on board a vessel to convey herself away. Oh, to convey herself away. Your waist is much too slender, your fingers neat and small. Your cheeks are much too rosy to face the cannonball. Oh, to face the cannonball. My waist is very slender, my fingers neat and small, but it would not make me tremble to see 10,000 fall. Oh, to see 10,000 fall. Before you step on board, sir, your name I'd like to know. She smiled all in her countenance, just call me Jackaro. Oh, just call me Jackaro. The war soon being over, she looked all around. Among the dead and dying, her darling boy she found. Oh, her darling boy she found. She gathered him up in her arms and took him to the town. She found a London doctor who quickly healed his wounds. Oh, he healed those awful wounds. This couple, they got married, so well they did agree. This couple, they got married, so why not you and me? Oh, so why not you and me?
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's really pretty.
It's got a pretty tune. Yeah, I believe he mentioned he taught that one to Doug. when I was singing it at Mars Hill the other time.
Oh, the folk process.
Yes. There are no rules, exactly.
Works both ways. There's a song that I learned initially. I learned this actually from a recording of the Ledford String Band. I had the opportunity to get to know Wayne Ledford, who was still living at the time, and ask him about his brothers, particularly his brother Steve and his father, who were well-known fiddlers. And one song that they sang, which honestly I didn't really know about during the time that I knew Wayne, that I had heard, I didn't hear until after he had passed. But the odd thing was there was a record that Rounder put out. I think it was like Rounder number 6 or something. It was really early. And Sarah, do you mind eating in another room? I can hear you chomping over there.
I wanted to enjoy it.
Well, anyways, so they weirdly put the best, I swear is one of the best.
Bye, everyone.
Put one of the best songs on the record, but then when they put the Ledford String Band out on iTunes, which is where I found it back in my college days, they didn't put this song on there, and I don't know why. I don't know if they lost the pressing for it, or if they it just wasn't good quality, or if they got into some kind of contract copyright dispute or something. I don't know why it wasn't on there, but I finally got to actually hear the record and hear the song, and some other people have sung this. But then I asked Bobby about it, and turns out that Mama Phillips, who we talked about before, it actually had also sang it. Her melody was it was just a little bit different, but only, they were really similar songs, and those are the only two versions of it that I know of. And Bobby hadn't heard the Ledford version, which I think is like the only time I've showed Bobby something he didn't know about with the whole music. But so it actually had some lyrics that Mama didn't know, which may or may not be original. I don't know, or Steve Ledford or someone might have added them on there. But I do wonder, there's other parallels with songs that the Ledfords and Mama knew that are kind of note for note for each other. So maybe there was a connection there. I guess we'll never know. But anyways, this is one of my favorite songs. You can look for me till your eyes run water. You can look for me till your eyes run water. You can look for me till your eyes run water. But I'll be home sometime or another. It could be June, July, or August. It could be June, July, or August. It could be June, July, or August. But I'll be home sometime or another. Could be dark and stormy weather. It could be dark and stormy weather. It could be dark and stormy weather, but I'll be home sometime or another. Maybe up some winding river. It may be up some winding river. It may be up some winding river, but I'll be home sometime or another. Could be up some cold dark holler. Could be up some cold dark holler. Could be up some cold dark holler. But I'll be home sometime or another. Jesus gave the invitation. Jesus gave the invitation, but I'll be home sometime or another. And Bobby added, back when he had only known 2 verses from Mama, he added 2 more. Is it, I'm maybe up some winding river, and I may be up some cold dark holler. Is that
Or
the 2
down
you
some
added?
cold, maybe up some winding river, or down some cold dark holler, or in some lonesome valley.
Yeah. So that's another one. Well, Bobby, maybe each one of us could do one more song, and then we'll call it an evening, and we can all go eat supper. I don't know if anybody's as hungry as I am.
I'm hungry. And I got
I'm
one
happy. I'm having
mentions a
fun.
bean.
So, Bobby, what do you have any in mind?
Yeah, I've got one. This is one that come out of Tennessee too. I learned from Mama. Oh, where is my sweetheart? I'm sure I can't tell. I'm sure I can't tell. I'm sure I can't tell. Oh, where is my sweetheart? I'm sure I can't tell. He's gone, he's gone, he's gone. He told me that he loved me, and he told me a lie. He told me a lie. He told me a lie. He told me that he loved me, and he told me a lie. He's gone, he's gone, he's gone. I told him that I loved him, and I told him the truth. I told him the truth. I told him the truth. I told him that I loved him, and I told him the truth. He's gone, he's gone, he's gone. God bless him, I love him, and I wish he was here. I wish he was here. I wish he was here. God bless him, I love him, and I wish he was here. He's gone, he's gone, he's gone. Oh, now I am married, and it's cornbread and beans. It's cornbread and beans. It's cornbread and beans. Now I am married, and it's cornbread and beans. He's gone, he's gone, he's gone. So there's one about the beans.
Bobby, you might ought to make sure that's in your book. I don't remember that one.
I don't know. I think it is, but
Well,
I couldn't say.
you might ought to check.
It's on you.
We'll make sure that one's in there. I hadn't heard you sing that one. I love that.
It's so easy. I never do sing it hardly. I don't know why. I always like it.
Well, Bobby, before we move on to Susan, I do really want to thank you for getting on here. Being someone that's mine's spent so much time thinking of the past, and wanting to know more about the past and old ways of doing things. Appreciate you getting on this pretty new way.
Yeah.
And being willing and muting and unmuting yourself like a pro, and Really appreciate you doing this, and
You're welcome.
I love to hear you singing on here, especially because I can hear you real clear. That sounds really good. I think we ought to find more opportunities to get you singing on these Zoom calls like this.
Well, all righty. I'll see if I can clear out this allergies. It's been so wet for the last few months. My allergies has really clogged my throat up. But I appreciate you having me on this, and all the people that's out there listening. I saw Mimi and her husband John and Derek, and I don't know how many said they were out there, and I appreciate you for listening.
What you got for us, Susan?
I'm going to do one from out this way, far west of Western North Carolina. This one is called Well Sold the Cow, or Boy Sells Cow is how I learned it, from a lady named Zora Jenkins Walker. And she sang a lot of songs kind of like what you just sang, Bobby, kind of playful. Sometimes we always think that ballads have to be so solemn and sad, but there's so many upbeat, playful ones about girls and boys and things like that, courtship. But this one is kind of like a jack tale. A young man or a boy is sent by his father to go sell a cow, and a lot of things happen, but he's got to find a way to kind of make everything work and make his daddy happy. Come down, the farmer said to his son. Make some money or lose someone. Here's an old cow, take her to the fair. She's in good order and her I can spare. Lie t'other Tomarantanio. Well, the boy took the cow and he headed for the fair. Hadn't gone long till he met with a man. Hadn't gone long till he met with a man. Sold that cow for 6 pounds of tan. Lie t'other Tomarantanio. Well, he went to the bar room to get him a drink. The money was paid right down in jink. There's a lady there dressed in silk so fine. Sewed that money into his coat line. Lie t'other Tomarantanio. Well, the boy got out and started for his home. A robber mounted and soon followed on. If you're going down the road a few miles, get on behind me and we'll both ride. Lie t'other Tomarantanio. Well, they hadn't gone more than a mile that way till the robber says, I'll tell you in plain. It's your money I want without any strife. If I don't get it, it's your sweet life. Lie t'other Tomarantanio. Well, the boy got down and spread his money out. In a high patch of weeds he strutted all about. While the highway robber was picking at the loss, he jumped in the saddle, rode off with the horse. Lie t'other Tomarantanio. Come back, the robber he roared. Come back, the robber he roared. Come back, the robber he roared. I'll pay you back your own and 10 times more. Lie t'other Tomarantanio. Well, the boy rode up to the old man's door. He come out with a stomp on the floor. Son, oh son, ain't it a curse? Our old cow's turned into a horse. Lie t'other Tomarantanio. Well, the boy got down and began to unfold. He found 10,000 in silver and gold. He began to puff, he began to swell. Pappy, don't you think I sold the old cow well? Lie t'other Tomarantanio. So that's another one with those nonsense words, which is what makes it. And she sang it super fast, which was very exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lindsay. Yeah, this has been really fun. I like to sing the most walking. I like doing something while I sing, so this is a fun way to do it.
Yeah, it's I've enjoyed it. I'm always the person that needs to be doodling in meetings or doing something with my hands, and so this has been good for me. I appreciate everyone coming out today and listening. This was a sort of experimental in one way, but I feel like it was a success in a lot of ways, and I do appreciate you, Susan and Bobby, for coming on here, and again, I want to thank the Arts Council and for hosting this, and then the American Folklife Center, and and I also want to ask you, stay tuned to the Facebook group, or not group, Facebook page for Song to Sing, because we do want to do an in-person one of these, like I said, pandemics permitting, and weather permitting. But with that one, we plan to actually have a supper afterwards. So a simple supper, but one of good stuff. And so we look forward to doing one of those and hopefully more. My assistant here, Lord, yeah, Lord, right. Lord willing, and the COVID don't stay. But anyway, so I guess I'll try to sing. I didn't realize that when I went last, I'd have to go last. But I will try to sing this one here. I think, yeah. So this is one that's interesting too, because I learned it from a home recording that Steve Ledford and his wife made, but it's almost exactly the same lyrics and tune that Mama Phillips used for it. But I guess not sure what the child ballad, and that is a really misleading name. That the most famous person for kind of naming and numbering ballads, his name is Child, because a lot of people think that it's children's ballads, which I guess they were sung with children. But so anyways, I'm going to sing this little short one. One morning in May, I spied a fair couple winding their way. One was a lady, so neat and so fair, and one was a soldier, a brave volunteer. They hadn't been standing but an hour or two when out of his knapsack a fiddle he drew, and the tune that he played made the valleys to ring. See the clear waters gliding, every nightingale sing. Pretty lady, it's time we give o'er. Oh no, now pretty soldier, play just one tune more. I'd rather hear your fiddle touch just of one string than to see waters gliding, every nightingale sing. Oh no, pretty soldier, when you marrying me. Oh no, now pretty lady, that never can be. I've a wife back in London, and children plus 3. 2 wives in the army's too many for me. I'll go back to London, and we'll stay there 1 year. And I'll think of you often, my sweet little dear. And when I return, it'll be in the spring, to see the clear waters gliding, never nightingale sing. All right, well, thank you, folks. It pretty much wraps up for today. I don't know, Bobby or Susan, do you have any parting words?
Hi.
Thank you for all the nice encouragement, and for yeah, that means a lot to know people enjoyed hearing these old songs, and yeah, keep singing them if you're there's ways to learn them too. There's gatherings like the Swananoa gathering and the Campbell Folk School, sorry, and online workshops, because we can actually sing and teach online these days, even if not in person.
Yeah,
So thank you so much. Thanks to the Arts Council, and William, thank you to you. And Bobby, it's such an honor and so much fun to be here with you.
Well, thank you, Susan. Everybody too.
Susan, I think I wrote up a really nice introduction for how a great ballad singer you are, and I don't think I spoke it, but I think we just cut right to you. But I don't know if we got to drop it in the chat or not, but is it susanpepper.com? Is that your website? Yeah, so Susan has a website, and you can order some of her recordings she's made, and keep track with some of the things that she's been doing. And there's some great, Lindsay right on top of it. Thank you, Lindsay, for dropping links for us today. So you can go there, and Susan does a lot of great educational opportunities. Hey, Val. And so again, thank you, everybody. Folk School, as you saw that, that's the John C. Campbell Folk School, probably. Yeah, I went there, changed my life. And that was a great opportunity. Yeah, really, really great opportunity for me. So, and a good question, if someone wanted to find out about online workshops, I know on Susan's website that she sometimes, I know that you sometimes do kind of Zoom-based workshops, and have been doing that over the past few months. So definitely follow the work that Susan's doing, because she has a lot of, do you have anything to add, Susan, with that?
There's a woman named Sarah Lynch Thomason. She's doing Zoom workshops online. And also the Augusta Heritage Center, they did some online vocal workshops. So I guess Google it too, and feel free to be in touch. I think I did one this summer. I think I'm gonna offer one coming up again later this fall.
One thing we talked about earlier, but we didn't talk about today real quick, is Susan, really relevant to what we're doing today. You actually were in and helped produce the Mountain Miner movie, and I'm told that it has a ballad singer Bean-Stringing in it, even, right?
Indeed, yes.
Yeah, and
yeah, Elizabeth LaPrelle plays one of the main characters, and sings a beautiful rendition of Young Emily up there on the porch, snapping beans.
So you can actually see that online right now. And is it Amazon Prime? And is that where it is right now? Or are there other streaming services?
Vimeo and Amazon Prime currently, and
yeah. So. Well, thank you so much, folks. We're gonna slip on out of here. Especially thank you so much to Zoe for being our stage manager today, and thank you to Lindsay. Also, thank you to Sarah for helping a whole lot too. Appreciate everyone out there, and keep in touch and sing some ballads.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.